The United States Army is currently grappling with a serious issue: its aging fleet of watercraft, a problem that threatens the military's readiness in the Indo-Pacific, one of the most strategically important regions in the world. A new report from the Government Accountability Office, GAO, reveals that nearly 60% of the Army's watercraft are unfit for missions, raising concerns about the military's ability to effectively operate in the Pacific theater. The report highlights widespread maintenance issues, aging vessels, and a shrinking fleet as the primary challenges. To understand the gravity of the situation, it's important to recognize the role these watercraft play in military logistics. They are vital for transporting personnel, equipment, and supplies to remote or contested areas, particularly in regions that require large-scale amphibious operations, like the islands of the Pacific. However, the number of Army watercraft has decreased drastically over recent years, dropping from 134 vessels in 2018 to just 70 in 2023, nearly a 50% reduction. This reduction is partly due to planned divestments in 2018 and 2019, but the real issue lies in maintenance. Many of the remaining vessels are aging and have not received proper upkeep. The GAO report points out critical problems such as obsolete parts and a shortage of supplies needed for repairs. One example is a landing craft utility vessel that has been undergoing maintenance since 2018, with costs exceeding initial estimates by over $1 million. The delays and cost overruns are not isolated incidents. The report reveals that fewer than 40% of the remaining vessels are mission-capable, far below the Army's policy that requires at least 90% readiness. The effects of this low readiness were evident earlier this year during a humanitarian operation in Gaza, where multiple Army vessels ran aground and the mission, which cost $230 million, lasted only 20 days. The poorly maintained vessels were a significant factor in the mission's setbacks. The situation is particularly alarming given the importance of the Indo-Pacific region to U.S. defense strategy, especially as tensions rise with China and other regional powers. Without a reliable fleet, the Army risks being unable to move people, equipment, and supplies effectively in times of crisis, potentially hindering the U.S.'s ability to project power in the region. To address these issues, the Army is exploring several potential solutions, including leasing civilian vessels to temporarily bolster the fleet and considering more futuristic options like autonomous vessels. The Army is also prioritizing investment in a modernized fleet aimed at meeting the needs of the force for 2040 and beyond. However, this modernization is a long-term goal, and the Army is facing pressure to resolve the readiness issues now. In the meantime, the Army has established a governing board to oversee the fleet's readiness and maintenance, though the GAO report notes that major steps have yet to be taken. The Army is actively discussing solutions with Congress, but only time will tell if these fixes will be implemented quickly enough to meet the growing threats in the Pacific. Ultimately, the Army's watercraft fleet is a critical component of how the U.S. military moves its ground forces in times of conflict or crisis. However, with a shrinking and poorly maintained fleet, the question remains: can the Army resolve its watercraft problem in time to ensure readiness in the Pacific?